Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of New Cow Corner. This is another episode of powerful, influential women of the hobby. Um, so, yeah, as you guys know, we've been doing this little segment with, and not that I'm sexist by any means, I just feel that certain people don't get enough recognition, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they deserve just a little bit more. And I really have a soft spot for this topic, being I'm the uncle of about four little girls, and I don't like some of the stigmas that come along with girls and reptiles. I mean, I think you as a girl, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want, let alone reptiles. This series really, helps with that theory, I guess. Little girls see this, they don't feel like tomboys, they don't feel like they're icky. It's just something cool, man. It's just something I feel that we need to do, and especially as men, it's kick down the walls here and show people what equality is, let alone equality. But I mean, I've said it many times before. Women, in my opinion, are probably better at this gecko thing than guys are. Man, they have a much better eye. If you look at collection to collection and animal to animal, you'd be hard pressed to not say the girls have the better animals, man. And all right, that's it, man. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Tiffany tonight from Mother of Serpents. Um, Here we are. Can you just give us a quick little, maybe not quick, but an introduction of who you are, your brand, what you do, the regular elevator
Feel.
pitch?
Yeah. My name's Tiffany, and I started Mother of Serpents, and I think it was about 2023, um, just as a reptile keeping page. Kind of wanted to get out there, and there's not a lot of people here locally that does reptiles, so I wanted to find a community. I wanted to find, my people that like the things that I do. And started out with ball pythons. Between me and my husband, we have over 12 ball pythons. And then I fell in love with crested geckos about a year ago. And now we have almost 20. So,
Funny how that
and
happens.
now I'm breeding. So it went from just, a really fun little side quest to full on have my own eggs in the incubator. Super exciting. Um, and I've
Very cool.
found out about some morphs and genetics and kind of what I want to aim for, and learned a lot of stuff in the hobby. A lot of different things. Met a lot of great people. So that's kind of
Awesome.
where I'm at right now in the community.
Awesome. Where are you located, if you don't mind me asking? Whereabouts
Um,
are you?
I'm in Georgia, so
Georgia. It's
yeah,
cool. Good buddy of mine
yeah.
lives down in Georgia.
Not close to Atlanta. I feel like all the reptile stuff is in Atlanta,
It's right where
and
he
around
lives
that
too, like right
area.
over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So,
people that are in Atlanta are very lucky people.
yeah.
So
So do you
I have
have
to
any
travel.
shows where you are? Is there any type of local shows? Nothing at all,
No, I have to travel about 2 hours um,
huh?
to
Really?
anything. Yeah, I have to drive. I have to drive an hour and 45 minutes to a hub. So
Oof.
yeah, yeah. So every time we go pick up a new gecko, it's an adventure. Have to plan the day around it.
Hey, makes them, I
So,
guess, in a sense, it makes it more valuable, right? Like you
mhm.
really have to put effort into doing what you're doing. I mean, I can appreciate that. That's now I don't know
Yeah,
if everybody would do that. I mean, how
yeah.
far is yours, Mark? How far do you got to drive to a hub?
Oh, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's me too. I'm like right down the street, 15, 20
Has
minutes.
it
You make
has it
chicken.
always been like that, or is that
So
something that happened recently?
it was about an hour, and then that hub shut down, and now I have
Yeah,
to drive even further. So
yeah.
yeah, it's
For
always
some
been,
reason that's been happening.
hmm
Sorry.
it's always been about an hour drive. If I had one 10 minutes away, I would be in big trouble. I would be in more debt than I am.
So
Yeah.
let's recap a little bit, rewind a little bit. You said you guys had some snakes. You and your husband were working with some snakes. How exactly did crested geckos get on your radar? How did you fall into crested geckos, and why crested geckos?
So I actually met a friend. Her name is Julie Creston Coils. She's breeding too now. She kind of fell down the same rabbit hole as me. We became friends probably, it's been about a year ago, around the same time as I started keeping. And she was falling in love with them. And she kept sending me pictures of them over and over and over. She was sending me pictures of them, like, look how cute this gecko is. Look how cute this lizard is. Like, I love it. And she's into xanthic. So she's in the opposite scale of me. I'm working with pinks. And she is like complete opposite. And I didn't know they existed. I had no idea that there was even anything like that. And then all of a sudden I was helping her look for herself, and I came across a pink one on Morph Market, and I was like, "Oh." I was like, "They have pink ones? That's crazy." And then went to a local show, met a local breeder, went to a Show Me Reptile show, fell in love with a crested gecko, got to hold it, fell deep in love with it, and then I got about, I'd say about six more, and then I was like, I really like this, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna start breeding them. So it went from smaller numbers, and now I'm like invested in different breeders and stuff now. For like the first half of it, I was just getting pets and what I liked, and now I'm doing like quality and lineage and stuff like that. So I'm on like the other end of it, and it's been a lot of learning experience, and just how chill they are. Their temperament is really cool. Pretty easy
Sure.
care too.
Yeah, for
So
sure, for sure.
most
That's
lizards, like if
cool.
you go with like Leos and stuff, you have to have like the big enclosures and like the heating and all the fancy stuff. It's way more expensive for different species as well. And I feel like they're just as rewarding as like your more expensive, bigger lizards, even though they're kind of smaller. So that's kind of why I fell in love with them in person. And then after that, it's just been a slippery slope.
Well, we can both relate, that's for sure.
I feel like a lot of people in the reptile hobby can relate to that one.
It's the truth. It really is. I mean, I wouldn't say for everybody, but I mean, it's a very
Yeah.
common story. You don't know about them one day, and the next day you got 10. It's
You learn about the morphs and the genetics of them and everything like that, and then you're like, oh, I gotta have one of this one. Gotta have a
sure,
base color of that one.
sure,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
So, did you just get into animals as you got older, or is this something you did as a child? How did you get involved
I've
in general?
I've always been a huge animal lover. Mostly more with reptiles now. But I've always, like, as a kid, I had rabbits and stuff, and I would take care of rabbits because, rabbits are not very cuddly. They're not very, you can't really handle them as much as, like, your cat or dog or whatever. So it had more, like, care into it. I would mostly be caring for them and stuff. Um, and then cats and dogs, your normal pets. I had frogs as well. I think that was the first reptile that I had. And my aunt actually, she started reptiles a lot, way before, like probably in the 2000s, and she had like 20 lizards at that point. She had Leos, she had bearded dragons, she never had crested geckos, but she had all different kinds of lizards, and she's no longer with us now. But I feel like um, she would be very appreciative of where I'm at now because I remember everyone giving her crap whenever she was into reptiles because everybody else was into like fuzzy cats and dogs, and they were like she was the weird lady that had all the reptiles and stuff, and I was like, you know what, maybe I'm the weird lady too. I was like, maybe it's just not all about fuzzy animals and stuff. I love them, love the unloved. That's what as I got older, I realized that. So
for you, man. I'm sorry
Yeah,
again to hear that. That's never easy, but hey,
yeah.
maybe
I
she
feel
left
like
her mark, you know?
Yeah, I feel like a little bit of my collection kind of goes out to her too because she was that weird reptile lady, and I feel like I kind of got a little bit of that as I got older.
There's nothing weird
So
about it if you ask me. It's awesome.
yeah, so that's kind of why I lean towards that, and I just fell in love with a little baby ball python at a pet store, and then it just snowballed. So yeah, I went to go shopping at a pet store and they had the babies out. I think they were feeding them or something. And the guy, I was looking at him and he's like, "You can hold it if you want." And I was like, "I've never held a snake before." And she was so tiny. She was just like that big around, and he laid her in my hands and I was like, I've got to learn how to take care of a snake. I was like, this is all over. Like $700 later, she's in my living room and still have her today. So that's how
Awesome.
it started. So
Are you producing snakes? Are you guys like like actively breeding them?
no, I thought about getting into breeding ball pythons at the beginning of keeping, and then just the incubation part kind of scares me a little bit. I've heard stories of like incubation failures and like they're a little more finicky and that I've heard, and it just scares me with how picky ball pythons are too about getting the females back on food and stuff. All of my girls are my babies, so if something were to happen to them because of that, I don't know if I could forgive myself. So as of right now, I think maybe in the future when some of them are older, because I do have a lot of younger ones. I think my oldest is like 4. I do have like one that's ready to breed, but all the others are pretty young. I think in the future I might try it just once, just to say that I've produced my own snakes. But nothing, not as much as I want to get into breeding crested geckos, though.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Okay.
If you had to choose to keep one, what would you choose? Ball pythons or crested geckos?
Putting her on the spot.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
that is a good one, especially since I've been keeping balls a lot longer. Um, but I have my favorites in both collections. It would have
If
to
you
be my
had to if you
it'd
had
have
to
to be
choose
my
one.
balls. It'd have to be
Okay.
especially the one my first girl. She's always got a place. I've got a tattoo.
There you go.
She's all the way
Oh,
up my
okay.
arm.
There you
So
go. She's
Hey.
committed.
yeah,
I was gonna say,
yeah,
mother of serpents, Mark. She's got. I'm gonna lean towards the snakes too.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked. But
yeah,
she seems very passionate about the Cresties, but
Yeah,
that's
for
why I
sure.
asked.
yeah. I love them to death, and I do have some that are, as close to my heart as the snakes. But I don't know. There's always going to be that something. They're the reason why, and I,
I know we're supposed
I
to
have to
technically be
keep
talking
it.
about geckos here, but and I know you just told us how you came across the ball pythons, but have any other species of snakes crossed your radar? Have you ever think about veering off and doing like retics or anything else? Have you ever thought about any other species of snakes?
So retics and Burmese are illegal here. Fun
Oh
fact.
shit,
Oh
really?
Oh,
yeah, yes
really?
they are.
Yeah.
Even dwarf retics are illegal here.
Oh, okay. See, I
I
learned
think because
something
we're
every podcast. I learned something. That's all.
yeah, I
Awesome
think
about
because we're so close to Florida and all that stuff going on in Florida. But I did dive into hard noses at one point, and I ended up I don't know exactly what happened. I bought them both from the same breeder. Both the males I got went off food. I tried everything. Coming from someone who had already like 12 ball pythons, I knew about picky, like ball pythons are known to be picky. Um, I tried everything with them. I reached out to the breeder, I reached out to different hard nosed people, could not get them to eat. Um, and going on like 6, 7 months, they were dropping weight. And I was like, something, I'm gonna have to do something because I can't get them to eat. So I got in contact with a local hard nosed breeder, and I asked him, not the breeder I bought them from, but he bred them and stuff. And he said, I'm willing to take them in and try to get them to get on a normal schedule. And we ended up letting them go to him. He ended up having to breed them to get them back to eating. He even had trouble getting them eating. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what happened with that, but they were both boys. I've heard the males are a bit harder than the females. But yeah, that adventure did not go very well for me. Love hog noses though. I feel like that's
And
a
they
species that bested me.
and they went back on food and every after they bred.
He bred them. Yep, he bred them. Yeah, he contacted me back a few months later, and he's like, I bred them. He's like, I never could get them to eat. He never could get them to eat, so he bred them, and then they went back on food. So I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know enough about them to know about the breeding seasons and all that stuff.
I mean, even with
'Cause
crested geckos, I hate to say it, and I don't want to say they completely shut off, but if, I do keep quite a few of my pairs together. In the summer months when it's 80 plus degrees in this room, these males will shut down, dude. They'll drop 15 grams, some of my males, they will not eat, and they have plenty of food, plenty of everything. They're just focused on one thing, man. So I've never experienced a situation like that, but it's enough for me to see that it's a totally
yeah.
plausible scenario.
Yeah, and also I didn't have females. I didn't plan to breed them either. I had
Mm.
really no way of like getting them back on their where they needed to be, and the way they were dropping weight was making me super nervous, and I didn't want something to bad to happen to them because I know once they start dropping weight, that's when you got to
Mm.
worry.
At least you were
So,
resourceful enough to find a solution. That's awesome.
yeah,
You
I'm
found a
glad.
solution.
Hey, I'm glad
That's it.
that he was able to get them where they needed to be, and apparently they're doing great. I still talk to him. He's my rat guy. Still,
So talk,
they're
talk
doing good.
talk to me. That's a good thing. So talk to me about these pinks because I'm intrigued by this. I'm
Okay.
intrigued.
Um, so I don't know if you guys have noticed or not. Some people will say they don't exist. I don't know if you know that or not. Some people will say that pink base does not exist.
It's hard to tell someone that
And
has them. I have them. I know they don't.
yeah, yeah. But, and also, some people will sell reds as pinks. And then whenever you get them and you're like, this is not a pink gecko, this is a red gecko. And then the next person, they'll be like, oh, well, I guess this is a pink gecko because I bought it as a pink gecko. I guess it's a pink gecko. So I've went through a lot. I've done a lot of research, a lot of genetic, all about how to create them from nothing all the way to the difference between a redler pink and a hypo pink. And also, in my opinion, hypo pinks, the most beautiful pinks that you could get. Um, they fire down almost to a lavender, like a ghostly pale gray, and fire up beautiful pink, like the most, the pinkest you can get. And then the redler pinks, they will fire up a bit darker. They're more on like the salmony side. Like they'll fire up more darker, not as red as like your red reds, but they'll fire down ghostly, like really pale pink or tan. So, I also just recently got my very first true pink male from Fringe Morphs. No, sorry, he's not a true pink. He's from True Pink lineage. So he's not. I didn't pay 8,000 for it. So his mom was and his dad was a lavender, but he is probably, how whenever, I don't know if you guys have like aimed for getting in a pink gecko, but you notice whenever you get them in from shipment, they're fully fired up. They're like stressed. They're dark. And this gecko, when I pulled it out of the box, never had one look like him before. He's truly, truly different, truly pink. Um, and I really hope to use his lineage with some of mine, like some of the pinks that I've gotten, and create more of them. So I'm aiming for pink portholes in one project, and then pink base red spot Dalmatians for the other project.
Very
So,
cool.
Nice.
because not a lot of people have been able to succeed in getting the pink base red spot dowels. Most of them are red. Most of them fire up very red. And I'm really hoping to get that soft pink base fired up on that just to make those red spots pop. So that's what
Cool.
I'm hoping for.
Well, what to be completely honest with you, I don't know much about them. I have about 300 animals, and once in a blue moon, I'll get one that's significantly pink, and there's no denying it. The animal is pink. It does not turn red. It does not turn any. It is pink. So I didn't know that this may sound ignorant, but I didn't even know this was a real thing here, like an actual line and people working with them and lineage. I have the terrible tendency to focus on my collection and not what everyone's doing. I really like keep my eyes in here, but I what I'm interested to know now. What do you know about these pink geckos? Is this a gene? Is this a line? Is this what do you know about this?
So a lot of people think, and I would assume so too, a majority is like the hypo red. That's what most people will consider a pink, because the hypo reds are pretty much they look pink.
That's what I thought I was
Um,
getting.
yeah, and a lot of people will pair hypo lavender to hypo red, and then I guess the double stacking of the hypo lightens the base color more and makes a beautiful pink gecko basically. So whenever you hit the lottery on that gene stack, is that's what you want. So if you're trying to aim for a pink without any visual pinks, that's how Fringe Morph said to do it. To stack the hypos on both and then hope for the best. Um, now
Roll the
I
dice.
Yep. Now, I personally, I've not been able, of course, to create my own yet. That's what I'm hoping to do. But I've noticed and I've read a lot of research is there's a lot of ways to be able to tell whenever they're younger what's going to be more pink than the clutch mates. So I don't know what the hit rate is, but of course, when you're working with I don't know if a lot of people have done like the visual pink to pink because I see a lot of people working with like the red bases to lavender to get the pinks. I want to do visual to visual pink and see what my hit rate is. I would like to see how many reds I end up with versus how many pinks I end up with to see kind of what you know is going to happen
Sure,
there.
sure. I mean,
Um,
if it's
because
happening once, I mean, there's got to be a way to, I mean, like anything else, I mean, breed enough, properly line breed enough that you can hatch them with predictability. I mean,
Yep.
that's
Are you seeing them pink when they hatch?
No. So what will happen is the ones that are going to go red by I think it's like 7 to 8 grams. Like you'll be able to tell the difference. You want to hold on to any of them that look tan. Any of them that look tan and are more light colored, that's the ones you want to hold on to. That's the ones that's got the potential to stay pink. If they're already firing up dark or firing up like red toned at that age, they're probably going to be reds. So that's what has been said to hold on to the lighter colored ones because that's going to be your highest potential to turn out like that. So for instance, this is a Redler pink that I have. This is the one that I'm going to pair to the one from Fringemorph. And she is semi fired up right now. So she is a pink phantom porthole. And
what you got a
she's,
crazy pink one too, don't you, man? You got that pink porthole thing.
yeah,
I have a
and
few. I have a few. I don't have a project based around it, so that's why I
What
find
have
it
you noticed? Are
interesting.
you hatching them also, or have you hatched any yet? What are you noticing? Because I'm super
Um,
curious now. Like I feel like I got the stuff to make them. It's like I'm seeing them out of every year. I'll get a few, and I don't really. I kind of write it
I
off as just a fluke.
I definitely Fringe Morphs has the recipe.
Hmm.
They have the recipe for sure. I feel a lot of the controversial, oh, it's not pink, it's red, or it's just the understanding of simplicity. It all comes from a red, and stacking hypo in the red is what gives you the pink
It is
ultimately,
pink.
but
Hmm.
it's visually pink regardless of the fact. I don't know what are they considering it, a gene or a trade, or but
So far, all I've heard is it's like a base color. I don't.
yeah.
The only person that's really big on it that I've heard is the True Pinks from Fringe Morphs, and you don't see a lot of like lines other than theirs. I mean, I know there's like the pink Cadillac line was a thing as well with somebody, if I remember correctly. But yeah, this is the Fringe Morphs boy. This is the pink line that I got from them. Like you can tell a bit difference in
The
him
fringes
versus the
animals in
others.
general look different.
Yeah. He's wild.
I will say I paired lavenders together and have gotten pinks and reds from lavenders.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. But that's probably coming from lineage where there was red in there to begin with. And that's why pairing two lavenders gave you red and pink.
Yep.
Isn't lavender? I forgot who it was saying, but I maybe it was Gabby or somebody was saying from Morph Menagerie. Somebody was that is lavender is hypo, right? Like
Hypo.
lavender is a hypo based. I mean, I guess. I mean, it makes sense. Like all my lav based animals are clearly lighter animals. I don't know if it's a
I've heard
true.
that as well. I, I've heard that as well. I feel like there's a lot of you can't confirm it, right? And like you can't be 110% lavender is hypo. I feel like
Like I've debunked everything everyone has ever told me as a fact. I'm like, well, I'm not trying to be, controversial, but I can prove that that's not true. I don't, it sucks. You're right. I mean, they're not everything. Yeah, I guess. It's interesting though, but I mean, this
you
is
know
still very
I
new, compared to like the ball python world. I mean, I'm 42 years old, man. There was a day where the ball python world was never gonna be where it is today. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not possible for it to be where it is today. Now I feel kind of like the crested gecko hobby and world, as much as it's advanced in the last, geez, at least 8 years since I've been doing this, it's advanced light years. It was very similar to the inception of the ball python craze, and I think that time will come and we will start getting a better grasp of this. But right now, I agree with you 100%. I don't know that we really, really know much of anything.
yeah, not to put all your eggs in one basket, but it's super interesting, but you take the knowledge that you're hearing, and now we have one more person working with pinks to give that information in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
I
that in
applaud you
itself
for
is
that, for
that
for
in itself
sure.
is priceless that you're doing it. Like you said, I
Yeah.
I can't even name, other than Fringe, anyone else that's dedicated to them. So to know that there's someone doing that's awesome. That's huge. That's huge.
I'm really hoping, like I said, 26 is going to be whenever I dive headfirst into it, and then 27, everything should be ready to go. A lot of my females are ready, but my males are not.
Mm.
And I'm really hoping that by 27 I can have my own like there. And I want to go the route. I don't know how well it's going to go because I said I haven't proved it myself, but I want to go the route of doing visuals. Like I want to do the route of going visual pink to visual pink and see what that does. Because I know a lot of people do the red, hypo red lavender situation to make them. And I want to see what the hit rate is like different when you
Have you
put
spoke
two
to anyone that is doing
visually.
that visual, or has at least paired a visual to a visual? Nobody.
Not that I know of. I know Fringe Mars has articles, but they're not super like they tell you like your basics on how to create them yourself, but they don't talk a lot about the visual to visual aspect of it. So
I mean, that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do, and not only do visual to visual, do a visual to a lavender. You could get all of those notes.
mm,
You know,
yeah.
like so. That brings me to my next question. And when you're doing the, is this the only project you're working on, or do you have a few?
I have a Frappuccino project going on right now just for the funsies. Just 'cause
Pink fraps coming soon?
I'm doing pink lilies first.
Okay.
So pink fraps is like the end goal, but that's gonna be a hard one. That's gonna
Hard
be
considering that that frap has, I mean, I at least the ones
the
I've made
caps.
and the ones I own turns them very orangey to get that pink base. Like I've tried to
It's
make
gonna be
red
hard.
ones and I'm having a hard time getting away from, I don't know if it's the brown that's doing it, whatever it is, but that to get on that red side of the spectrum has been complicated for me.
Yeah, so I've seen a few lavender cappuccinos floating around, and I think if maybe if I got lucky, I have a pink lily white, very very beautiful one. And if I could find a lavender cap around with it, see what happens. That would be a fun side project.
That
But
cap I got from you, Mark, is lavender. One of them is gray as all hell. He's
I
lavender.
was just
She's
about to,
lavender as hell. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that would
I
be
was
your
just about to
probably
say,
your best bet at trying to do something like that. You'd have to have a
absolutely.
really light
That's what I
cappuccino
could
to
do.
do it.
I might just do
I
like
mean,
you just said.
that's the thing. It's not gonna happen probably your first pair. Like you have to continue going down that line, and eventually you'll get there. That's even with how you brought one of Fringe Morph's pink line, True Pink line. You may not produce pinks right away, but it's there, and as you continue to work on it, it's gonna pop. I'm hoping, I'm rooting for you. I'm assuming,
But
you
it's a
know.
great tool to have in the draw, regardless. That animal from that. That's a
Yeah.
Yeah,
good
I'm
plug
hoping
for
to.
anything you do.
I also have I have a male. If you know about Fringe Morph, do you know Mary and Ultra? Um,
Yes.
Mary was their second True Pink female, and Ultra was their very first True Pink male. I have a grandson from them, um, and he shows a lot of traits of the True Pink. He doesn't fire up very dark, fires up very light. I don't know if I would consider him as True Pink as theirs, but I would at least consider him a pink base. Um, I wouldn't go as far as labeling him as their quality True Pink. And I would love to hit their lineage, like hope that their lineage plays a part in breeding him. I know he's got dad's side too, which can pull through. His dad was very funky. I don't know what's going to come out of that because his dad was a dark Dalmatian that fired down super pale. So I don't know if his dad's lineage will play a big part in it, but that's also that he's going to be in my the pink based red spots because he's got red spots all over him. He's
How old
beautiful.
is he now? How old? How big is that animal?
He will be 2 in September, so he's like 25 grams, 20 grams. Um, but yeah, he's got some nice lineage, and I'm hoping to kind of play with that as well. I may end up getting a lavender lady for him in the future to kind of play with that. Um, but I mostly want to do the red spot dowels with that one because I love red spot dowels too. So
Sure,
that's
sure.
another big one for me. I'd love in the future to do the red spot phantom lily white. Love those really hard. I've heard to hit them, but that would be another future project. I've got a Mardi Gras dowel coming from Fringe Morse Wednesday, um,
Nice.
and I have a phantom lily white with red spots already. So maybe pairing those two in the future might have
I'm interested with a pink
some fun things.
based animal. Are you? I haven't seen one. Are you getting like real red spots? Like, can you get a dark red spot? Really? So see, that
Oh yeah,
already is. contradictory in itself that pink is red, hypo red based, if it's showing two different ways. That doesn't make sense.
Oh
It
yeah.
has to almost be something different.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's they show up very, very nice on the light soft base. She's fully fired up right now, so you might not be able to see it as great. Um, but she's definitely you can definitely tell that she's not like fully red.
Mm,
Let's see if I can get it to turn around. You can sort of see her. You can see those red spots on there.
yeah, for
If
sure.
she
Okay,
would, if you'd stop.
that's interesting.
So yeah, she's from MP
Okay,
crusty lineage.
nice.
Um, and Kate's colorful crusties. If you know about their red spot stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Very
yeah.
cool.
She's not super red spot covered. I'm hoping her lineage plays a part in it.
These red spots have always interested me, anyways. It always made me curious as to what exactly was going on. I
See
find how
what
they
she was
show up
doing.
very, and the more time goes on, the more people are, getting these red spots to show up with
Mm-hmm.
predictability and consistency. And when I first started, it was a
The
fluke. Every once in a blue moon, an animal would pop up with two, and whoa, that's a $5,000 animal with two or three red spots on him.
yeah.
And now it's like a
Fringe
little
morphs
more, a little more.
also
It's
they're doing it too. They're doing that Mardi Gras line and I some of
it's
the red
funny because
spots I've seen on them.
you see red spots on some of the old pictures of geckos in the wild.
That's really neat.
With the bull's eyes, the red dowel
Hmm.
Yeah.
spot, the black. Mm-hmm.
Yep, I love those. But yeah, that's another thing. And right now, the eggs I have in the incubator are just high coverage lily cappuccinos. I'm really hoping to hit a frap.
Nice.
This is the
Well, there you
male,
go.
the dad.
Beautiful.
Let's see.
Those are my favorite, hands down. I'm a Lily fanatic. Love them. Love them.
Oh, I
Love
love lilies too more than I should.
them. Love them.
Yeah. He is pretty neat. He's got some highlighter in him though, so I don't know if I'll end
Interesting.
up.
Do you
She
have
tried
any?
to bite
What do
me.
you think about that highlighter stuff? Now that you brought it up, I'm curious to hear what people think is happening. Why do some animals have it and some not? Do you think that it is a gene? Do you believe that the highlighter trait is an actual gene, or what do you think about
So I don't have many with it. Not a big fan of it in my color base. I feel like on pink because I mostly want to do pinks. I feel like it clashes with that color a lot. But I would assume so. I would assume that it's something that passes on because how many? There's a lot of animals with it. I wouldn't. There would be no way that it wouldn't be some kind of genetic aspect going on there because some lilies have it and some don't.
it? Sure. And a lot of my
And some
lilies that
animals,
don't have it produce them with it. So I've
yeah.
always like, it's a little personal question I always have, but I'm on a mission to find out what the hell it is.
Yeah,
And everyone that
yeah,
tells me like they know, like it just doesn't make sense. But what do you
yeah.
think it is, Mark? What do you think about the highlighter thingamajigger?
Again, I like like I said, I'm very unbiased when it comes to these things because I feel like everything has two different camps. Um, I feel highlighter needs a lot more work for it to be defined. I've heard a lot of things. Work with it. I see it. Same with the red spots. Same with the pinks. Some people are very definitive with how they speak and how they present their knowledge. I feel like those are topics that are should remain open because there's so much work to continue to do, you know? And you never know what Tiffany might stumble across with her pairings compared to anybody else that's paired and are saying, oh, it can't be done or it could be done this way. You may find something new and then that information changes and evolves, you know? Um,
Sorry, guys.
Pick it up. No.
Just turn, like, literally just
Oh,
turn the volume off and it rings.
yeah. So when it comes to highlighter, I mean, like, I have these animals that are paper white. You know, mom is 6 years old, paper white still, has never turned yellow. I've heard people say, oh, lily whites will look paper white the first year or two and then turn highlighter yellow after 2 years. I've heard so many different things, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not angry at that. I just know, like, I see different things, you know. Highlighter is one of those things where I see it on some of my black animals, you know, even down to the jawline. You know how cresteds have that white
The
jaw.
lip, yep.
Some, yeah, the lip. Some of my animals have highlighter yellow along that lip, complete,
You know, a lot of
complete.
caps have it too.
Really?
Yeah, you
I
know.
didn't
Yeah,
know that either.
yep. A lot of
So
caps
there's
have
a
it, and
Yeah,
also
I guess I
phantom
should
lilies.
say I've seen that the caps, a lot of that white turns yellow in general.
I think that one female I sent you is highlighter cap. No, check
Yeah,
her out,
no, not yet, not yet.
or
They
maybe that's the one I have. I might have kept that one. Oh,
Yeah, because also like the phantom lilies I have, like they have that really yellow, almost looks highlighter, almost on all phantom lilies too.
interesting. So
You look
I
at that.
don't want to get too much down this genetic rabbit hole because, quite frankly, we could just go on for hours about it. I have a question for you, and please don't take this the wrong way. And I ask everybody this, and I never mean to be offensive. Coming into the crested gecko hobby and crested gecko world, what do you feel that you bring to the table? What do you have to offer that you feel maybe the hobby didn't have? Something that maybe you feel needs your special attention? What do you feel that you offer to the community in the most respectful way possible?
Well, I feel like a lot of how you base your brand or what you're passionate about working with is how much passion you put behind it. Like, you know, not everybody is going to enjoy pink crested geckos, but I am super passionate about it and I'm going to be super excited about it. And I hope that I can find other people that are like minded. I've had a lot of people, and it's just, I've only been doing it for years, so I'm not claiming to know a whole lot. I just found a project that I really want to try myself to see if it's possible for me to do. And I hope that in the future, you know, I can bring as much, you know, passion to other people about certain projects that aren't being touched as much. Because every time that I've talked about pinks, I've always heard they're really hard. Like you're really, you know, it's gonna be a process getting there. And I feel like that's why so many people shy away from it, is because they're more harder to do. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. Like that's one of the reasons
Yeah,
why I want to do it,
good
because,
for
you
you.
know, it's
well,
not the most accessible.
that's the thing. A lot of people want that instant gratification. You're gonna have to put some blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Mhm.
I
It's a
think that's
long term thing.
Mhm.
the negative side to lineage, right? Is a lot of people want to buy their way into success. Some people come in and say, I'm going to buy the best animal from those lines, I'm going to buy the best animals from those lines, and then I'm just going to produce animals that look just like theirs, and then I'm just going to be the best because I make their animals. Nobody wants to really do the work. Nobody wants to take an idea and turn it into something. People are really quick to just, oh, I like what he's doing and I like what he's doing. I'm just going to copy them both and here you go. You know, you're going the hard route. You're absolutely going the path of most resistance, which is admirable. I love it. I did it. You know, that's what I did. I took animals and literally bought one set of animals and said, you know what? If these were the only animals that existed in the world, could I get to where all these people are today? Could I take this one group of animals and make everything these people do? So I went a really, really long route, but I've made some impressive things happen, and I commend others that do the same. You know, you have a vision, you're not just taking other people's projects, you know, and that's again says a lot about itself, and also to touch on what you said about passion. Me and Mark have talked plenty of times before, and I tell people, despite what's trending, what's popular, what people like or dislike, passion will always sell. If you have a passion for something, it don't matter what the hell it is, your passion will shine and your passion will sell. And that was probably the best answer you could have given. I mean, not that there was a right or wrong answer, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I think at the
beautifully.
end of the day, like, even if I don't produce animals that look like heartstrings, like the one from Fringe Morphs, I'm still going to be happy because I was able to successfully breed him. I was able to successfully make eggs with that lineage. And now that lineage, there's more of it out there. Like,
Sure.
there'll be more stepping stones for more people, you know? Maybe if I don't hit it and I sell some of the babies, maybe somebody else can, you know? And that's
10
another
years, you might
thing.
have a line that's more notable and better. Who
Yeah.
knows?
So,
Maybe you have the missing key already. Maybe your vision is the missing key. Not that I'm bashing Fringe Morph by any
yeah.
means. He does incredible things, but he's got his attention in a lot of spots, right? If you're honed in on one thing and one thing only, I mean, you spend 10 years working at it, you're very likely to have something super unique, that's
Yeah.
greatly different than what he had, and he will just be nothing but initial original inspiration. You'll go your own way. You'll be making geckos like this color.
Yeah. And another thing that I really want to do some deep diving into and try to make possible is the pink lily whites. Because if you notice, you can search it on Morph Market right now. There's none. Like, they're super hard to come by. Like, even I've only seen a couple, and it's
I've seen
really,
one.
yeah, it's really hard. It's super super hard. And I think that's another thing, like, for the future that I want to be able to do, just because they're so hard to find. They're so unique.
I've seen phantom pink lily whites, but I've seen only one non-phantom pink lily white.
Yeah. Hang on just a second. I'll show you Artemis. Let's see if
Which is
she's fired up.
interesting because technically some, at least quite a few of mine unfired up are very pink,
Oh yeah.
find a way to undo that, or reverse engineer them somehow.
There you are.
This is Artemis.
Yeah, this is Artemis. This is the closest thing that I would call a pink lily. She's fully fired,
Yeah,
and she's a hypo.
very cool.
And yeah, she's super unique, and she has that even underneath. It kind of looks more pink, like that salmony kind of color underneath her
No,
chin.
no,
Yeah, so she's she's pretty cool.
very nice. Again, too, I think some of these things are just so underexplored that
Mhm.
they feel much rarer than they should be. They just rare because no one is focused on them. I don't think that they're. I mean, maybe they are technically harder to make,
I
but
know that Gecko Nerd has done a few hypo uh red base lilies that look more on the pinker base side. But off the top of my head, I couldn't name like a lot of like people that works with hypo lily white.
interesting. Yeah,
So that's another one that I think would be really fun
cool.
to kind of explore. And then I have Bloody Mary, which is she fires up red.
I think I saw
She
that one on
is,
when you were doing one of your lives. You were showing her.
yeah, she fires down very pink. She's like fully fired down right now. She fires up pretty red, and I have her paired to a high coverage hypo pink base Harley Quinn from Tara Lee, and I'm
There you go.
hoping I
Say
can
Tara.
get
Now that I
some.
think about it, Tara makes some pink animals too, and I don't know if
Yes,
it's intentional or not, but I can definitely see some of her pink animals in my head.
yes, yes, she does. She works with a lot of high coverage animals as well. Um, and that's kind of where I want to go the opposite route. I want to go patternless mostly. I want to do your mostly your patternless and your dowel spots. I don't want a super lot of coverage because not that I don't like them. It's just I feel like that's what everyone's doing with pinks too. is like your fluffy, high coverage, like Harley Quinns and stuff like that. And I want to get like the more patternless look, maybe with spots, some without. Like, I feel like the patternless with the portholes, so nice. It makes them pop.
Really are striking animals. They
Yep.
really are.
So I feel like with the patternless, it would make the portholes look a lot cleaner, lot bigger.
So, so you said you've been doing this for 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Is there any piece of advice that someone has given you that at this point in your journey you wish you did not listen to?
That's a good one.
That could
Um,
maybe help somebody else who's beginning? You know, maybe it wasn't the best advice and you learned that now and you could probably change that.
Aim for expensive animals. Like aim for high end animals. Some of my beautifulest animals wasn't, you know, wasn't
I
purchased
do that
from,
all the time, for sure.
yeah, yeah, wasn't from big names and stuff. Like I know the lineage is important in crested geckos, like I understand that. But there's some underdogs. There's some underdogs in this community that create some amazing
A
stuff.
lot of them. A
Yep.
lot of
And
underdogs.
don't just aim for the big names, you know. Go smaller too. Like you can find good smaller. So that would probably be that, and then also like people trying to shove like doing what's popular on you. Like, why don't you work with this? Why don't you work with that? Like, why are you not working with Xanthic? Why are you not working with Sable? Why are you not working with the Highway? You know, and Tangerine is a big like a hot thing too. It's just not for me. You know, not hating on it and not hating on the people that do it, but I chose kind of what I wanted to do, and you know, at the end of the day, I'm not in it for money. You know, I'm in it because I want to be able to say that I did it. So that's probably the best the or the worst advice so I can think
You
of.
hear that? You hear that? Everybody's standing up right now, screaming and clapping in the background.
Facts, man. I try to explain this to people in the nicest way possible too, man. Is screw the trends. Work with
Yeah.
what you love. These trends will be outdated next week, and who knows, they may be back in rotation in 2, 3 years from now. But again, this 8 years I've been doing this, everything that's popular now that's not new in theory was at one point not popular. Everything that's not popular now was at one point popular. It's like it's you can't keep trying to keep up with the Joneses, man. You have to work with what you're passionate about. Acknowledge what everyone else is doing, appreciate what other people do, but follow your interests. You know, it's one of the
People
most
will
important pieces of advice is to work with what you're happy to work with.
and people will chase the most expensive too. Like whatever's the newest morph and whatever's the most expensive, that's what
Hmm.
they want to get into. And you know, that's what you want to do. That's, you know, that's on
Sure,
you, but I would
sure.
I'd rather do something I like and I'm passionate in. Because if you put a ton of money, if you think about it like reasonably, if you put a ton of money into something that you don't really like, how do you think that's going to come out? If you're not passionate about it and you just want it because it's expensive, are you really going to get any enjoyment out of making those animals?
Truth.
Like, I don't know. That's just my viewpoint on it. I want
That's
to
the
make
Well,
truth.
something that I'm
you
going to
may
enjoy.
you may be surprised that you don't make any good animals out of those expensive animals that you invested in.
Yeah.
It happens a
Yeah.
lot more than people. We were just talking about that, huh, Mark? People don't get. I know people that have spent 10,000 plus on animals, and not a single one after 4 years of producing babies looks like the parents. Either way, you spent all that money with all that lineage to buy animals because you were just gonna reproduce this animal, and you haven't made one yet that looks like them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
feel
mean,
like there's definitely a difference. There's a line between doing it for profit and for the
sure,
big names versus
sure.
just doing it for passion. because
Sure. I don't necessarily hate, personally, I don't hate them for what they do. That's
yeah,
just what they do. It's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that there's, that's one of the things that needs to be communicated to newer people in the hobby is that they shouldn't be unless you want them to be, they shouldn't be your proxy. To be a
yeah,
successful, happy gecko breeder, you don't have to do what those big names are doing. You can have 10 pairs, 5 pairs, and still produce gorgeous animals, you know, be happy. I mean, you don't have to do what the big names are doing because they're the big names. It's like that's not what you don't have to do that to produce beautiful animals. So many people get caught up in, well, altitude does this, or this company does this, or AC does that, and they have 5,000 animals, and I can't produce good animals unless I have 5,000 animals.
yeah,
Yeah, I promise you make a lot better animals having a lot less animals. Less
yeah.
animals, more eye time on per animal. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why. And again, I'm not bashing them. That's what they do. That's what they built. That's what they wanted. They are full blown companies based on breeding, selling, producing these animals. That's again, that's what they do. You just, I guess my point is, you don't have to do that.
Hmm. Yep, I agree. I agree completely.
So you do a little podcast. You do a podcast. You just do a lot of lives. What are these other things I see you doing? Because I had noticed you obviously via the other things you do in the hobby. I think that you're a huge asset to the community with a lot of you're pretty vocal. You do
I
things,
appreciate that.
your lives, your videos, and that brings people together. Even if it's just the audiences and the chats in your lives, you're bringing people together and forging relationships, and that's beautiful. What explain to us what you do, the live thing you do, maybe the reasons why you do it, what your goals are with that. What's explain.
So I do live just I want to build a community. I want to be around like-minded people. There's a lot of negativity in this community, and I feel like we need less of that. Um, and I feel
You're
like,
1 year. You're 1 year in. Have you experienced negativity already?
oh yeah, oh yeah, from here all the way, yeah, it's yeah, yep,
Not to cut you
um,
off, but you can continue with. I
yeah,
just wanted
yeah,
to know that.
yep, seen a lot of it, experienced it personally, seen a lot of other people experience it. Um, we have our own Discord. I made a Discord community because solely around the reason of so many people having encounters with, I don't want to bring any negativity or drama, but um, judgmental, very judgmental to new keepers. And I wanted to create something like I have threads all about information, like the best way to keep, how other people keeps, open threads where people can discuss it. You know, I don't want any judgment. I don't want, if you come in there and you show me a shoebox tote with nothing in it, I'm not going to bash you down. You know what I mean? That's not what we need. We need to show them the right way. Like, I also agree people should research. I feel like anytime you get a new animal, you should put in your research. But also, being that way towards people is not gonna it's not gonna make them want to change it. It's
You have to
not.
understand that not everyone
Yeah.
does. Not everyone knows. Not everybody, some people are just as impulsive, I mean, that's beautiful that you say that, and that's why we have this podcast. We are very well aware that this hobby consists of more than the frat boy popular circle that thinks they run it all. Like, it's why we do this. When you look at the big names, I'm friends with a lot of them. They are not the community. Take the big names out of the mix. Excuse my language, but this fucking hobby's still here, still running without any of the big names. The little people with the small collections make this shit up, not the big names. So why should the big names and the big guys have all the say? To me, it doesn't make sense. So we said, okay, what we're going to do is this: we're going to build a platform where everyone could talk. Everyone could come on here. If you have something to contribute, if you've done something in your eyes that is positive for the hobby, come on here. Here we go. Awesome that you do
Yeah,
that, because
that's
again,
that's
just being
that's
here for one
something.
year and have to experience any type of negativity quite literally makes me throw up in my mouth. You know, it's
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's that's
This
not cool.
is
It's not
this
cool.
is one of the reasons. This is one of that's why I asked you as soon as you said that. I needed to know. I'm like 1 year in for you to experience negativity already, and this is one of the reasons why I have my train of thought of being, and why we spoke about. I need to be unbiased towards everything because some people speak without knowing, and they just need to be taught. And you shouldn't be judging them. And if we constantly judging people for the one mistake that they're doing, 1 year in and already negativity, that negativity could have shut her down, get rid of all the animals. I don't want to deal with animals no more. And we lost one person from the hobby. Not only that, your husband, we lost your husband from the hobby. Not only that, now your best friend. Oh, they treated you like that. I don't want to do with this no more, neither. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's
Truth.
horrible.
And as often as I say
Actually,
it too, you know, we all come from different walks. Every one of us here comes from a different state. We probably all, I mean, I don't want to say probably, we maybe all have different political views. We may all have different religions. You know what we do have in common though? We all got crested geckos,
Rep.
right? We all got crested geckos and we all have a love for reptiles. Shouldn't this be like the last thing we fight about? Shouldn't it be like the one thing that gives us common ground to communicate and be friends and get along as human beings? Somehow people find it to be the only thing to fight about. Like it's very
I
odd to me.
agree.
But
I agree.
but it's awesome that you're
Yeah,
doing that. It's awesome that you do that. It's unfortunate that you had to do it for the reasons that you have to, but commendable that you are. You say, okay, there's negativity here. I'm gonna combat that with positivity. It's beautiful. It's poetic, you know. But
that's the reason why I do what I do, and that's why I'm trying to be more social and build more of
good
relationships
for
with
you.
people in the hobby.
Good for you.
Because
People notice.
not
I've
saying,
noticed. I've
well, I
noticed. I didn't know
appreciate
the
that.
reason behind it, but again, I noticed. So if I'm noticing my scatterbrain, people are noticing.
Well, I
Right?
appreciate that, and
Huge. That's huge.
yeah, the actually within like the first year of me getting in, I would say this was early on. I had a few people I was reaching out to, talking to them about their collection because I admired a lot of their stuff. They were working with similar things that I wanted to work with. Um, and to get someone to even give me like 10 to 15 minutes of their time a day was a lot to ask. Like, just to try to like talk to somebody about their collection and kind of like get price points, and these were people I looked up to. These were people that I was like, I want to own one of your animals. And I flat out had one girl just tell me my animals are too high end for you. And I'm just like, okay, okay, that's fine.
That
I was like,
saying, you know, be
now,
careful how well, or be careful how close you get to your heroes. You know, like when you find out who your heroes really are, you may look at them differently. It's unfortunate, but very true. Now, I don't
yeah.
mean to go down a negative rabbit hole with this next question, but I am curious, being that we're doing a positive, influential women of the hobby. Do you feel that any of that negativity you got was being a younger, because you're a younger female? Do you think that you got any negativity for that reason alone?
I feel like a lot of people don't take you as seriously in terms of some of the things. I feel like, and I will, I'm not trying to direct any kind of negativity towards these people, but I definitely got overlooked a lot in the snake community, in particular, the ball python community. I feel like my community and my um, friends and everyone all mostly came from the crested gecko side. I feel like in the snake community, I was overlooked. Nobody wanted to give me the time of day to chat with things. And I felt like I was looked over a lot because of maybe being a woman, maybe, could be, or it could just be how they were, you know, they are. I don't know. But I definitely felt it more coming from the ball python community side, um, versus the crested gecko community. I feel like I was welcomed in more, um, from the crested gecko community. So
It makes me feel a little
yeah,
better. Not
yep.
to shit, but that makes me feel a
Yeah,
little.
not like I said, not saying there's not some great people out there, snake breeders and
Sure.
stuff. I'm
Because I
sure
feel
there
like all
is.
the people I know are incredible. Like
Yep.
I've made as much negative crap or shit as I've seen. I've made some amazing relationships in this, gecko world, man. I've some amazing people in this hobby. Like people that I am grateful every day I wake up that I have some of my friends in this gecko hobby that I have. I mean, not to put my business out there, but going through a divorce and like all types of crap. I got people I've never met in person that have been there first thing in the morning, man. Just want to see how you're doing it. You got it. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Keep it pushing, man. You're going to be good. Women and men, like very, very, amazing people, amazing humans that I am indebted to for the rest of my life, and I would have never met them again if it weren't for this gecko community. And that's what we need to focus on. It sucks that you have to deal with. And again, what's really eating me up is that you're doing this for a year and you've already experienced it. Like there's everyone should have their arms around you saying, let's go, Tiffany. This is how you do this. This is what we're going to do with this. You know what? I get you like that animal, but let me do you a favor and send you something here. Now, don't worry about any money, but take this and just try this for me and see what this does for you. Or everybody should be embracing you and taking you in as the next generation, the one that's going to carry that into the future. I don't care. I'm not working with pinks, but that's good for the hobby, and it's awesome that someone is finally doing it. So let's help her get this. Like it's, and there is people that are like that, and there you will run across people like that all the time. I got into caps. I sat back for years watching people work with caps. I watch them go from 15, 20 grand to, regular prices, man. And when I finally was like, you know what, I want them, Mark included, man, I had people like, you know what, I have faith in you and I think you're going to do this, man. Sending you something, people send you animals. And, I don't encourage people to take advantage of that. But, my
Yeah.
point is that there is people that will want to see you succeed just because you have similar passions and interests.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like we need more of, um instead of this gatekeeping and like not wanting people to do the similar things as you, or like not wanting people to be focused on this, like we should encourage people, you know what I mean? Like I said, even if I don't hit it, I'm happy to help somebody else maybe in the
Hell
future,
yeah.
you know? Like
That's
It
awesome.
that's the
also
thing.
it also works, but yes, I agree 100%. But just let's think of both sides. Let's see what's happening on both sides, right? It also works the opposite way, where I'm willing to give you all, not gatekeep anything, and help you out. But you also, not you specific, just let's just say, you also have to be willing to go put some work in as well. And sometimes what happens is you may get the raw end of the stick because so many people are trying to take advantage. Like Anthony said earlier, they want to come in and buy those two $5,000 animals, and they want to start selling $5,000 animals, whatever the case may be. And think about how it is for the breeder, where okay, I want to explain to you how to keep your babies, but before you even ask me that question, you want to know what I should pair together to make $5,000 babies.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I do get
and
that. I
and
do.
and I feel like that's something that has to be brought more to light, because just you 1 year in, think about how the person that's been doing this for 20 years, how many different personalities that person has gone through, and is probably at the point where if you didn't ask the right question, they're like, oh, look at another one of these. Just to play devil's advocate, let's say, I feel that will help the community also, to just give them the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes it may take more than the one phone call or the one text, and that person will get a little bit more comfortable with talking to you. and giving you that more information. It's not just, oh, yo, I hit Mother of Serpents and I asked about a pink and they didn't say nothing, so I'm going to go buy it from Anthony. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's like that. But sometimes it's, you know what, maybe Mother of Serpents was busy. Maybe I didn't ask the right question. Let me come at her again a different way and put a little bit more effort in showing Mother of Serpents, hey, I know you didn't answer my question, but I'm going to bother you until you do because I'm very interested in knowing what pinks you have. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of other like I see what you're saying like on that like profit standpoint. A lot of people are may see someone else succeed in selling animals for a good amount of money and then just want to come in and kind of take what they did and make that amount of money. You know what I mean? So, a lot of and I didn't realize it at the time early, pinks are pretty expensive. Like whenever you get like the true pinks and stuff, mine was never, and trust me, I'm in debt for it now. Um, but having expensive taste, I guess. But even if pinks were like readily available, like a Harley Quinn, I'd still do it because I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not about the profit for me, but I see what you're saying in terms of like people will want to do, like I was saying earlier, people will want to do what's expensive, what's bringing in that money, what everybody else wants, you know? So I understand that. Just like Chocho right now, that is insane. The prices on them. Um,
I've seen just about
and
everything that price though. I remember lilies were, well, I mean they were expensive before, but I remember when they're about 18, 20 grand just to get a lily, and then they quickly dropped about 10, 12, stayed there for about a year. I remember the caps were up there, most of even the sables. It blows
yeah,
my mind that they are the price they are now. I don't know if it was morph market or fetal, but I was looking somewhere the other day and less than $200 for a sable. It
hmm,
literally feels like the last time I was at Flora Fauna, they were 30 grand for a sable. It was $30,000.
yep. Just like fraps and stuff. I got an import frap for next to nothing. And I remember when I was first looking at them, like this was just a year ago, I was like, I really want one of those. But the price point was crazy. And then I imported one for, I don't know, like 300-400 bucks from Korea. And like, he's amazing. But the price change from looking at him like a year ago versus now is crazy. And that's one of the reasons why that was my first project, just because that was the very first animal. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm never going to be able to have this. So it's like, that's what I wanted to do for my first project, just to see what happens. And also the fact of he was one of my first rested geckos, the lily white, and he's so sweet. He's like, he never jumps. His personality, even if I don't hit a frap, I just want sweet babies from him
Sure,
because he's so
sure.
sweet.
So
How
So
many animals do
keeping
you
it
have
keep
now, if you don't mind me asking? How many crested geckos do
in
you have?
total, um, with all the reptiles and stuff, we have 32, 32, and 8 jumping spiders. We have 20 crested geckos. So I'm still very small.
It's just not, you don't have to feel anything. If that's what you have, that's what you want. Animals fit projects. It's perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing
And also,
saying you have
like,
to have any number.
yeah,
yeah,
and
that's
also
perspective.
I
There's
want to
people with just
do,
one.
yeah, it's true. And I,
And to those people you have, oh my God, 30?
yeah,
So it's that's the thing. You
yeah.
have quite a good collection.
When I tell people I have like 20 lizards, they're like, "Oh my God, you got 20 lizards?" I'm like, "This is nothing compared to you don't this is nothing compared. This is just like a ground level compared to most breeders or most keepers. Like
Sure.
they got like 200, 100 or like
I got
60.
300, and I probably have the smallest collection of just about anybody I talk to on a daily basis.
That's
I have
that's what
literally a
I'm saying.
significantly smaller collection at 300 than everybody I talk to.
When I this one coming in Wednesday is going to make number 20. And I was like, I'm getting nervous about this number. And I was like,
Well, that 20 could turn into a few hundred real quick, Tiffany. And I'm not trying
yeah,
to be funny. One season with 5 pairs, you're at 100,
yeah,
So it happens, and it happens fast.
yep. So,
Very.
yeah, that's why I'm trying to be like picky and choosy and really
Very smart.
try to,
Biggest mistake
yeah,
I made. Biggest mistake I made is not doing that. I
yeah,
thought I had to have one or two of everything. Like I said, I bought those couple wholesale lots and you know, got rid of some, but I thought I had to have, two, 2 to 4 yellows, 2 to 4 reds, 2 to 4 this, 2 to 4 that. Like I thought that's what I had to have to make anything. And as the years go on, obviously I realize how wrong I was, but buying with intention, buying with an idea in mind is a much superior tactic than just buying because you like something. You can see, I mean, there's plenty of animals that I love, but I don't have them because I don't work with them. I mean, I
yeah.
it just wouldn't make sense for a breeding project wise, and you're doing it right. Again, I wish I had that advice when I started. Buy with intention, and you're buying animal per animal. You say you let your male grow up a little more. You're looking for a female to match them to. I mean, that's definitely the way to go. Nice and slow and steady. Pick your animals strategically. And if you
On
wind
a
up at
on a
200, you wind
positive,
up at 200. But if you don't,
300,
Yep.
400. On a
Yep.
positive note, because we don't talk about the negative people, but who's somebody positive in the hobby that has helped you and guided you and given you knowledge, um, that
particularly a
you
woman,
could
if you don't
recommend?
mind. Particularly a
Particularly a
woman.
woman.
Because I usually ask this question at the end, but I use it for my next. I'll usually ask, my guest, and then I'll usually use that to go in the direction of my next guest for the, powerful, influential women of the hobby. So I like it to be a positive recognition thing to show that people are recognizing each other.
Um, so being only a year in, I haven't really talked to a whole bunch of people. Um, but I will say the most positive person that has been in my corner, and we've kind of started at the same rate, is probably my friend Julie Preston Coils. She's starting at the same rate as I am.
So you do
But
the
we've been
lives
rooting.
bunch, right? You do your lives with her.
We've been rooting for each other since we started, and
Good
we
for you
both
guys.
have separate projects, but we've
Good
been
for you.
rooting for each other. We
Good for you.
send echoes to each other that we find
Oh,
that I'm like,
I was there. I was there. I was in a live. The crested
Well, I
coils,
sent
right?
you. Yeah.
Oh,
yep,
okay. Okay. Yes.
yeah. And also another one is Jumpy Jawbreakers. Um,
Oh, my
she
peoples.
Okay, yep. She does a lot of Dalmatians and stuff. She was the one of the very few that I talked to in the beginning, starting to keep, and she gave me a ton of great advice, helped me learn how to keep and stuff. We had a few great conversations, and I will always remember that. So
Do you know who
that was
Cresty
another
Works
one.
is? Do you know Kristen from Cresty Works?
I don't.
Do you know the company
Mm-mm.
Cresty Works?
I've heard of it, but I don't know her.
She's the shit. She's like, I mean, not that you don't have your resources, but if you ever wanted like information from someone that's like fucking so cool, she's very very cool, very very cool human being. Let alone woman. She's awesome.
Yeah.
And very
Yeah.
resourceful. She's been doing this for a
Awesome.
long time. She's seen it all. She's a every time I wind up in a jam, and this is made, clearly is just ironic, but she somehow miraculously always has the answer. Like she'll always be right. Like, she's one of many people that I consult with. After 8 years of doing this, I could tell you very openly, I don't know shit. Like I am learning every day, but she always she's pretty spot on. From neurological issues to not eating to husbandry to genetics and genes, and she's one of the originating discoverers of the real true pixel gene. She's, writing articles and describing stuff. She's very, and you wouldn't even know she's so humble. She's so cool. You wouldn't even know she's half as brilliant as she is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it's good to have a,
Um,
a collection of people, Because, like Mark was saying earlier, you don't want to get all of your information from one person. You want to listen to everybody, but you want to ultimately be the judge of how this
yeah,
information is distributed and applied.
that's what I'm hoping for with going lives and doing the stuff. I hope to find and connect with more people, um, because I've got a very small corner so far. Um,
You got a
so
big following, though. I mean, you
I
have a
do,
decent
yeah.
following.
I've got a decent following. It's just nobody really reaches out much. Like I haven't really connected with my people. I feel like there's a few people. Like I said, I've got a small community. I feel like, but that's one of the main reasons that I want to keep doing it is I want to get more. Like I want to talk to more people. I want to meet more great people and like-minded people. Um, because just over the year, I've met a handful of amazing people that I wouldn't be doing what I was doing if I didn't meet them. So,
Awesome.
it's with some of the
Very cool.
negative, there's been more positive. So I will say that it's
Perception too.
I found,
It's a
yeah,
choice. You can choose to focus on the negative, or you can acknowledge that it's there and put your energy into the positive.
Bingo.
Seems like that's
Bingo.
what you're doing. But
There's always more positive than negative, no matter what.
mm-hmm,
You just have to keep looking for it.
yep.
There's always.
I feel
Don't
like I
let that
found my
stop you.
people whenever I got into Crested Geckos. So
good for you. Good
that's
for you.
that's one
And
thing
just
I
keep
can
being
say.
you, and it'll keep growing. Do you have any
I
intentions
appreciate
to
it.
ever vend? Is that something you'd want to do? Do you want to vend shows? Do you want to? What does the future look like for Mother of Serpents?
I would love to be
Other
able to
than the
do
breeding
that.
projects we already talked
Yeah,
about, but as
yeah.
far as
I
like your
mean,
brand or your business,
I would love to. I don't know if I'll ever get to that point, but I would love to be able to do that. I know there's a few places that are within decent distance, um, but I feel like that'd probably be a future road. I would take it if I could. So I would love to do. I would love to do
good
it.
for you. Keep your doors open. Keep
Yep.
the doors open, and possibilities will continue to come.
Yep.
Very
I
cool.
agree.
All right, so we're coming up on an hour and a half. We usually like to keep it around there for not your purposes, but people in today's society don't have the attention spans they used to back in the days. I
I feel
hate,
that.
to get good information on longer podcasts. It kind of sucks sometimes, and I take it as, and I shouldn't, but I take it personal when my guests have good information to offer and it's towards the end of a podcast and people don't hear it because they just don't have the means to sit down and watch an hour and a half long podcast, which is very unfortunate. It's just, I love to talk. I love to talk. I love to listen to
I
people,
do too.
and it's usually turns out to be
Me
long
three.
form
Yep.
information.
If
But
it's something I love, if it's reptiles, I can talk all day.
so I tell people all the time, I would not shut up. I wouldn't shut up. There's no notepad. There's no clipboard. I don't write down questions. I could talk until I fall asleep. Like literally, no matter how much we have in common with these animals, I assure you, we have that many differences in things we could talk about, slight variations in things we do, ways we keep our animals. I mean, again, I'm nervous to start even talking about that stuff because we'll literally be here for another 3 hours.
Yeah,
We'll start
we
talking
we
about.
haven't even pulled out any of our animals to start showing and talking and
I mean, seriously, when you talk about husbandry and feeding and diets, and I mean, there's so much
It's
that we
true.
could talk about that sometimes you have to, pick a lane and cruise down. And my intention with this was to, not that you need my help, but introduce you to the masses, introduce you to a new audience, again show other smaller breeders out there that are making huge positive contributions to the hobby. I mean, that's what I enjoy doing. Again, showing people that plenty of people out here that don't have the big superstar name are doing just as much,
I
and
agree completely.
that's huge to me, that people realize, like even you said earlier, you don't have to buy animals from these big names. There's plenty of people out here that I guarantee you never heard of that I'd put money on their animals versus the big guys. I'd put everything I own on their animals versus big names.
Yep. Because a
And
lot of the smaller people are focusing on a handful of things, you know? They're not chasing what everybody wants, and they're not chasing the price
absolutely,
tag. So,
yeah. They
you'll
have a
get more
collection
quality.
focusing on one look, not a giant collection trying to focus on what the hobby is doing. They're not trying to set trends, like a lot of big names do. They're looking to name the next gecko, come out with the next line. They're looking to be the next it thing. And that takes energy. And I'm not even bashing them because not only do I not want to do what some of them do, I don't think that I could. Like it's not
Yeah.
easy. You can't just be one of those big guys. Like you can't. It took Brian, and I'm cool, super cool with Brian from Altitude. He's a cool dude, awesome dude. People look at him all the time and say, "Oh, he's got a big collection. Does this? He can do that." I don't want to do that. I'm like, with all due respect, you can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't rewind the hands of time and do what he did. He strategically cornered the market with certain genes, and you just can't do it now. He was very smart and some luck involved, but Brian's a businessman, and it's a full-time job for him to do what he does. But
Yep.
again, there's plenty of people out there, small batch breeders, that deserve the attention. Let's just leave it at that. That deserve the hobby's attention and recognition. We won't
I
stop
agree.
until we covered everyone in the hobby. Until everyone in the hobby that has something they want to say says it, we'll keep going. No two interviews are the same. No two conversations are the same. Shit, I can't really. I mean, other than a handful of questions, no two questions are even the same. Everybody is a little different. Every conversation is a little different.
Yep.
That's
I
beautiful. I
agree.
love that.
Yep.
Well,
And I appreciate you guys inviting me on. It's been fun. It's been a
absolutely.
blast. It's
Absolutely. What you're
it's
doing
been
is
fun.
huge. And again, it doesn't go unnoticed.
I
You're a
appreciate that.
positive, influential human in this hobby.
And
And
you
that
know what you
that's
want. And you
Yeah.
know what you want. And you know how you get in there. That's cool.
I
That's
appreciate
cool.
that.
very cool. So where can everybody find you? Let's just run down this whole little gambit thing we do here at the end. Where can everybody find you? Where if is your Discord open to people? Can people join your Discord? Do you have a process in which people go through to
Um,
if they're looking for information that you may have or may feel that people are a certain type of way and they want a positive place to go? How can people get involved in what you're doing?
I don't have it open to the public just because of filtering, trying to keep the negativity out. But I do post it in the store in my Instagram stories weekly, sometimes multiple times a week for people to reach out, and if they want in, we'll let them join.
Awesome.
And that has been, if they reach out and want the link, I'll send it to them, and
Very cool.
they can go and explore and be a part of it and show their animals and chat with everybody and do all the fun stuff. Um,
Very cool.
and then I have Instagram, I have TikTok, and I'm dabbling in YouTube, but
Awesome.
not
All
much
Mother
yet.
of Serpents, right? All under
Yep,
Mother of Serpents.
same names.
And
Yep,
on the notes below, guys, I'll make sure that I put a link to her IG and whatever accounts I have so you can find her if you're not already following her. But if you're not, you want someone positive in your corner, you want someone positive to kick ideas off of, you want to watch someone positive blossom in this hobby, give her a follow, guys. Check out what she's doing and, you know, spread the positivity. That's all I can
appreciate
say
it.
is that the best way to spread positivity is to be positive, be the change you want to see in people.
I totally agree. Couldn't have said
Mark,
it
got anything
better.
you want to say, Mark? How about them cages you've been working with, Mark? What are those monster box cages you've been doing? What's that all about?
Those monster box cages, man, you got to try them out. All acrylic PVC. I'm gonna be putting up some videos now that I come back from work tomorrow. But yeah, Mother of Serpents, try one out also. Check it out. Um, Thank you for answering my questions and being here with me as well. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Um, and everybody, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Uh,
Thank you.
Monster Box enclosures. Real quick, I want to tell you, you got to go to the website monsterbox.us, right? It's monsterbox.us.com. Check it out. They're amazing.
But we're doing a
They're
giveaway
not
too. There's a giveaway on the Monster Box page. We just ended one, but we
this.
started a new one. We're doing one a month. So we got another
Yeah,
giveaway
but
now for the acrylic.
you also have the Supreme Gecko giveaway, right?
Yes,
Eight
12
of them.
Supreme Days of Christmas. 12 Supreme Days of Christmas. We're
Ooh.
giving away 8 enclosures, 4 8x8x12 acrylics, and 4 8x8x12 PVC enclosures. If you want a chance to win them amongst $50,000 of other free gifts that people in this community have come together to give away at this time of year, go check out the 12 Supreme Days of Christmas, guys. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't got to buy nothing. You don't got to like nothing. You don't got to be friends with anybody. Go get involved in the giveaways, man. Every day for the next 12 days-ish, Wally Over Supreme runs an amazing giveaway. It's awesome for everybody. They even have kid giveaways. If you have kids, nieces, nephews, little brother, little sister under the age of 13.
Something
They
for
do
everybody.
special giveaways just for the kids too, guys. It's an amazing thing, and I really can't say enough about it. Literally, it's like, over the years, hundreds of donors and thousands and thousands of dollars of gifts and animals and merchandise and all types of stuff, man. I mean, just it's a huge event, hugest Christmas giveaway in the reptile hobby, not even just the gecko world, the reptile hobby. So again, go check it out. Supreme Gecko's 12 Days of Christmas, guys. All right, guys, hang with me. I'm going to end this. Just don't end back out to make sure everything uploaded, and we'll be here to end here in 2 seconds.